Hello everyone, I wanted to do a quick update on the 3D printer. Right now I'm currently printing a Mercury Star Runner from the game Star Citizen, if any of you guys have heard of that. It's a game that might not ever come out, but it's got some really cool features and some really cool looking ships. And I really like this one, so I'm just having it go. It's on a high quality, takes a decent amount of time. The printer still is fairly inaccurate with there. There are some new software you can get. Actually, the original software, I don't believe you can find it anymore, so let me pull it up. So the original software, this right here, the flash print, I haven't been able to find it. Let me know if you guys can find it online. I don't know where the links are. I just have the copy from when I got my original 3D printer from Monoprice. They're basically just using the Adventure Flash Forge, which is technically what this printer is, just rebranded. It's doing very well. I did have to replace the nozzle right there because my prints were going all squampus again. It wasn't printing properly. It wouldn't stick to the bed. It just wasn't extruding correctly. And this time I checked my gears. My gears are perfectly fine. They're doing well. And so I'm like, okay, well, last time the guy said it had something to do with the nozzle, probably. Even though that wasn't the case, because I obviously saw the gears were burnt out and not working at all. So I replaced the nozzle. You can find it on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. I think it was $20 if I'm not mistaken. And 3D printer's back to working perfect again. I mean, there's still some little hiccups. The bed probably would need to be replaced. It's not perfectly level. That's why I'm using a raft here. I would suggest using a raft after your first few prints. It's probably going to get a little squampus, so just go ahead and use a raft. It works very well. It doesn't have any issues. Sometimes you will have a little bit of an issue here on the bottom layer. I don't know if you guys can see that too well. But it will still adhere. It will build on top of itself at least, and it's not going to have any structural integrity. It's just going to look a little bit wavy, I think is the best description on the bottom of the print. But besides that, everything comes out pretty well. Still printing D&D characters. It's doing perfectly fantastic for that. I've been able to print here. Let me pull out. I've got like 10 of these things, and each one of them has 10 gold, platinum, and then silver pieces for Dungeons and Dragons. So I actually use these as my monetary value for my players for D&D. So the printer works fantastic. I do burn through the filament quite a bit. This is the hatch box that I use, and then this is the unknown brand. I have not run out of it. I've had this for the whole time. I've had the 3D printer. I have no idea if any of you guys know what brand this is, because unfortunately I had accidentally misplaced the boxing. I got it as a gift, and of course my parents who sent it to me when I got the printer don't know what brand it is, but it's absolutely fantastic. Again, I haven't run out of it. I'm close, as you guys can tell. I'm very close, but I've printed a ton of things. I've printed off I usually do about in batches of 50, so I've got 50 skeletons, 50 guards, 50 goblins. I have quite a few dragons that I've made, and a lot of characters that I printed off. It just works extremely well, and so just a follow-up video just to let you guys know how the printer is doing. It's fantastic. I love it. Even in this day and age, it does have its hiccups. It can't do some bigger pieces. In fact, for Dungeons and Dragons, I usually end up just purchasing larger figures that are harder for it to do, or smaller figures that are very, very difficult for it to do, or more detailed ones. But for basic figures, like even these right here, I could have probably printed off, so these are just some drow. I just couldn't find some ones that I liked online, and so I got the models from a store. But for the most part, this handles everything I want. For larger models, it's fantastic. For terrain models, if you're into that, or Warhammer, fantastic, absolutely great. Only limitation would be the size, and even then, you can just super glue these pieces together. For example, this ship, as you can see, is split in two, and then I just super glue the pieces together, and honestly, it's fantastic. I made a mask out of that in 3 pieces, and it holds up extremely well. That's probably mostly because the super glue actually melts the plastic and then refuses it together. Of course, it's still the weak point in the print, but it's good enough, and with how light this stuff is, it doesn't really matter. And so if any of you guys are interested in this printer, if it's ever on sale, I would recommend it. And definitely you're going to enjoy it, and it's very easy to use compared to some other ones. Not saying that the other ones don't have more advantages than this one, which they definitely do, such as some more custom things you can do, some more in-depth things, but with them breaking down, with their maintenance, with having to assemble some of them, it gets a little bit complicated. This one's really easy, great for beginners, it holds up really well. The customer service from Monoprice is fantastic. They're really anxious to help you, which you don't get in always. So if you guys are going to pick up a printer, I would definitely suggest the Adventure or the Monoprice Voxel, as this is known. It's a fantastic printer, and it does a great job.